glad to have the opportunity to address you all in such an important matter as liberalism and democratic movements. Liberalism and democratic movements are very closely connected. They both base on the same value, freedom of choice. I am honored to be such a distinguished company discussing the future of liberalism in Central Asia and fellow liberal democrats. The European Union and Central Asia, through history, was always a place in between. It was a path of prosperity, Silk Way. It was a path of war torn apart by empires of Asia and Europe. As an Estonian, I am quite well aware of what it was like to live in the Soviet regime and experience at first hand the atrocities that regime has committed against the people of Central Asia or Estonia. Recent years of independence were anything but simple. We still vividly remember massacres of Andijan, riots in Osh, suppression of the fundamental freedoms in Kazakhstan, or eccentric regime in Ashgabat. These elements speak volume of what incredible challenge liberals have to face in Central Asia. In 2011, the Central Asian republics will experience strong economic expansion with real GDP growth of 5 to 9% for the region as a whole. The hydrocarbon-fueled economy is a basis for this growth. However, these growth figures will allow for the Central Asian republics to climb out of the bottom ranks for freedom, democracy, human rights, or the rule of law. It is not only bad news from Central Asia, though. While one should not forget the worrying ethnic violence scenes from the streets of Osh, it seems that Kyrgyzstan has scored well in terms of organizing recent parliamentary elections. Let us hope that fragile democracy crash thoughts will survive the cold winter for the presidential elections next year. And now let me underline, in my view, three most important challenges for liberalism in Central Asia and consequently our agenda in Central Asia. Firstly, the human rights and democracy. Continuous lack of progress in this field and persecution of human rights defenders should not go unnoticed. The outgoing presidency country of OSCE, Kazakhstan, has made numerous commitments with regard to creative freedoms and release of political prisoners. How many of those were implemented? What does it say to us about OSCE? Turkmenistan remains an authoritarian regime that puts its citizens under an unimaginable oppression. The European Union has a partnership and cooperation agreement signed in 1998. For the last 12 years, this agreement has not been ratified, and for the last 12 years, no tangible change has come out of our political position towards Turkmenistan. What does it say about the European Union? Secondly, regional security. As the international community discusses the situation in Afghanistan and the exit strategy from that conflict, the neighboring countries are often forgotten. Central Asia is critical to the security and sustainability of any future Afghan regime. Transit of supply goods is only one element. What about the Central Asian ethnicities living in Afghanistan? To which extent their potential is mobilized for the stabilization of the region as a whole? Thirdly, alternatives. In the region dominated by interest of two major neighbors, Russia and China, Central Asian republics find themselves short of examples for a political alternative. Growing economic development can offer incentive for change, but also it offers dangers for further usurpation of power to the ruling elite. I am confident that only through intensive contacts between people and genuine effort in the interest of societies, the European Union can offer an alternative vision. It might not be the power broker, but it does offer an attractive alternative. This was a few words from ALDE and Liberal Group, and I am grateful for the Liberal International and ALDE for having had the opportunity to discuss this important region today. I remain committed to work further in promoting liberal values in our bilateral contacts between the European Parliament and Central Asian state parliaments. Thank you very much.